Hello, my third grade friends. We are here today and we are ready to start our next lesson, which is lesson 11. So if you want to have your pink problem set ready so it is good to go, we are on lesson 11. We're going to do a little bit of review like we normally do to get our math brains ready to go. So I have this picture here, an equal groups picture of basketballs. And I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 basketball groups. And there is 3 basketballs in each group. And in class, we always start off like this with a picture on the board. And we did this for this very picture too. I would like you to write me 1 repeated addition sentence, 2 multiplication sentences, 2 division sentences, a number bond, and an array to match this picture. So you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 tasks to do with this one little picture of basketballs. But we should be getting really good at this and we should be able to go pretty fast. So again, you need, with this picture, a repeated addition sentence, 2 multiplication sentences, 2 division sentences. So total, that's 5 number sentences, 5 equations you're going to have. And then I want you to draw me a number bond and array. And I want you to do it as fast as your little math hands can go while still being accurate. So I want you to pause the video and you can do it on a blank sheet of paper if you need to grab one, or in like a dry erase board. Okay, ready? Pause it. Go. Okay, so after you've done this, so you better have paused it and did this right along, and did this so that you can check it right along with me now, okay? So the first thing I had asked you to do was to write a repeated addition sentence, and I had labeled my picture, and I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 groups of 3, so that gives me 3 plus 3 plus 3 plus 3 plus 3, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, plus 3 plus 3, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 threes. And did you say that that equals 21? Super duper. Your next job was to write a multiplication sentence. And the first one to match the picture. So we always say it's the number of groups first. And we know that there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 groups times the number in each group. And there's 3 basketballs in each group, which equals 21. Give me a thumbs up if you had for your first multiplication sentence, 7 times 3 equals 21. And remember, so your first number sentence, your first multiplication sentence should match the picture. So the groups always comes first. So for our first one, we do want that 7 times 3 equals 21. For your next multiplication sentence, we're doing a flip-flop, right? To flip-flop this 7 and the 3 to get that next multiplication sentence. So you should have said 3 times 7 equals 21. Give me 2 thumbs up and shake them around if you had that for your second multiplication sentence. And do you remember what property that's called? That's that big word, right? That is the commutative property of multiplication. Good. So we did repeated addition, 2 multiplication sentences, 2 division sentences next. So remember, when we divide, we always start with the total. So did you start with 21? Good. So 21, and we'll divide by 7 since there's 7 groups, and that would equal 3. So we're in the same fact family, so I have the same numbers, 21, 7, 3, 21, 7, 3. They're just in a different order, and when we divide, the total is always first. So if we had 21 divided by 7 as our first division sentence, the second one should be 21 divided by 3 equals 7. Grab your 2 ears and do a little head jig if you got that correct. Good job. And if not, that's okay. Mistakes help our brains grow. So I hope that we're just realizing our mistakes so we can fix them next time. Okay. All right. So we had that. So your next job that I asked you to do was a number bond. So remember, in our number bond, we have the total. I'm not going to worry about that because, well, we'll just fill that in, right? Because we already did that up there. So in our number bond, the top part, we have the total. And we already found that the total was 21 from up there, right? So our total is 21. So that's going to go in the top part of my number bond. And then I'm going to have 7 parts to my number bond because there's 7 groups. Is that what you drew too? So 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And then since there was 3 basketballs in each group, I'm going to put 3 in each group. What do we think? Did you have that number bond correct? Okay. If you had a number bond with 3 groups of 7, you used a commutative property. But to match this picture, we wanted 7 groups of 3. And your last task was to draw an array. So since there's 7 groups of balls, I would need 7 rows. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I put the first one in each row. And then how many are in each row? There's 3 in each row. So 1, 2, 3, 2, 3, 2, 3, 2, 3, 2, 3. And I'm going fast, but I think that we're just going over this, okay? So 7 groups of 3. So that matches my picture. If you only had 3 rows, then you got your rows and your columns mixed up. So remember the groups, since there was 7 groups of our picture up here, that gives us 7 rows. So the rows go this way. And if you're ever confused, just do this with your finger. When we say, which way do the rows go this way. Think of the rows on a bookshelf, okay? Nice work. Okay. Just for time's sake, I'm going to go right into our lesson for today. If we look at our lesson 11, it says lesson 11, we're going to model division as the unknown factors. So remember, the unknown factor just means the number that we don't know. A factor are the numbers that we multiply in a multiplication sentence. Okay, so the factors are the numbers that we multiply in multiplication, and we're going to use arrays and tape diagrams. I love tape diagrams. I have a math crush on tape diagrams. They are a model just like our equal groups pictures and just like arrays, but it's a tape diagram and it's my favorite. So I think that you're going to grow to love them too. Okay, but that's what we're going to introduce today. So our I can statement is I can use arrays and tape diagrams to determine the unknown factor. So we're learning a new strategy today. Okay, but so here's the thing. We're learning a new strategy, but this couple of these questions aren't my favorite. So Mrs. Squirrel is going to kind of break the rules a little bit and cross some stuff out that I don't like, or we're going to change the directions a little bit, okay? I'm being a rule breaker today. Okay, so if we put our pencils or our fingers, I want to read together. So starting with Mrs. Prescott, can everybody put your pencil or your finger there and read with me, please? Read right out loud. I want to hear your voices. Here we go. Mrs. Prescott has 12 oranges. She puts 2 oranges in each bag. How many bags does she have? How many bags does she have? Draw an array, and that's actually where we're going to stop. Draw an array. And then we're going to cross that off because I don't like that direction. They're trying to tell us to make our arrays different, and we just got really good at making arrays, and we're still practicing, so I don't even want to throw another wrench in there. So just going to draw an array. But let's look back, okay? Let's look at, so she has 12 oranges, so that is the total, right? So I want to circle 12 because that's the total. She puts 2 oranges in each bag. Is that important? It sure is. 2 oranges in each bag. And then I'm going to underline my question, which is how many bags does she have? And then we're going to draw an array. Okay, so she has 12 oranges and she puts 2 oranges in each bag. How many bags does she have? So we don't know the groups. The bags are the groups. And we don't know that yet, but we do know that there's 2 oranges in each bag. So we don't know how many groups, but we do know that how many are in each group, which is 2. So we're going to keep making groups of 2 in our array until we get to that magic number of 12. So will you start to make these with me? So I already did 2, so 1, 2, and then we're going to keep saying a number, and we're going to count up until we get to 12. Are we ready? So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, and stop because we hit that magic number of 12, right? So make sure that these are nice and neat and lined up. And if I look, I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 rows. And there is 2 in each row. And I can put that time sign there, okay? But if I did, I can write a multiplication sentence to help me. 6 times 2 equals 12. But if I look here, they want me to write a division sentence. And I know that when I write a division sentence, what number always comes first? It would be the total. In this case, that total is 12. We divided by 2 because we knew that there was 2 oranges in each bag. So, and then we found out when we tried to figure out how many bags or how many groups there was going to be, we found that there was 6. So that's why that labeling can help us there. So 12 divided by 2 equals 6. Then it says to redraw the oranges in each bag as a unit in the tape diagram. So this is a tape diagram. So what a tape diagram is, it's a rectangle that's split into groups, okay? And it says the first unit is done for you. As you draw, label the diagram with the known and unknown information from the problem. So there is 2 oranges in each bag, so there's a group of 2. We found that there was 6 groups. So there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 groups already there. And we're going to go ahead and put 2 in each group. Okay, so to label this, we're going to say 2 in each. And then we know that our total is 12. So we'll say 12 total. Okay, so 2 in each. We put those 2 oranges in each box, and we said that the total was 12. If you need to pause the video, boys and girls, to get caught up, you can. And if at any time you need to take a little break, feel free to do that too. Try to power through, but if you need to take a bathroom break or get a drink or something, that is why having the videos is so handy. Okay, how do we do with that? Are we okay? So you might not think that tape diagrams are so exciting yet, but just wait. The more we get used to them and practice, they're fun to make, and I think they make a lot of sense. All right. So looking at number 2, put your finger or your pencil on Mrs. Prescott again. Let's read about her. Read with me. I want to hear you. Nice and loud. Here we go. Mrs. Prescott arranges 18 plums into 6 bags. How many plums are in each bag? Model the problem with both an array and a labeled tape diagram. Show each column as the number of plums in each bag. And before we even look at that, so I actually forgot to take this. So if we, and you don't need to do this, boys and girls, you can just watch. If I took this and did this, what I'm really doing is I'm taking this array and I'm turning it onto its side. And then it looks the same as this, right? So it actually wanted us to draw it a different way, but I just think that was confusing. So I wanted us to draw it the normal way that we learned how to do so we don't get confused. And then we can just simply, because of that commutative property, right? I can just make that flip-flop and I can turn it onto its side. And then it looks like 6 groups of 2, which is what we have right here. Okay, so that's why I just wanted to keep it to kind of change their directions a little bit because I was not a fan of it. Okay, all right, so now looking at number 2, so we just read it. So she arranges 18 plums into 6 bags. 18 is the total, so circle 18. And she arranges them into 6 bags. So I'm going to put parentheses around those 6 bags because if there's 6 bags, that tells me the number of groups, right? It's helpful to try to pick that information out because that absolutely helps us with our drawings. And then our question says, how many plums are in each bag? And it says to model the problem with both an array and a labeled tape diagram. And here's the part that I don't like. Again, we're going to cross that off. Okay. It's just trying to tell us to make these different, to make our array backwards than we're used to making it. And I don't like that. So changing the rules. Okay. All right. So 18 plums into 6 bags. So if there's 6 bags and we said that's the number of groups, we want to start off by making an array. Okay. So if there's 6 groups, how many rows do I need? I need 6, right? So I'm going to put the first of each row. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And if you feel really comfortable knowing that rows go this way, you don't need to put the lines. But some kids are still having a hard time remembering that rows go this way, so I'm still just putting the shelves. But if you feel good, then don't worry about it. Okay, so there's 6 bags or 6 groups, and we know that the total is 18. So what do I do? So I have 6 groups. I don't know. I want to find out how many are in each bag. Do you think that I should keep putting 1 in each group until I get to that total of 18? Yeah, let's go for it. Okay, but let's say, so I already have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So I'm going to keep counting. So do we have that? If you're not there yet, pause it because I want you to add these right along with me. So I have 6. I'm ready to go. So 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Can I keep going? Yep, because I need to get to 18. So I'm at 12. Count with me. 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, and stop. Right? I hit that 18 mark. So now how many plums do I have in each bag? I have 3 in each bag. Okay. And I know I can stick that little time sign there. And then it says there are blank plums in each bag. Well, we just said that. How many plums are in each bag? There's 3. Okay. Let's read a number sentence. And we know that if we had the total, if we start out with the total, that is a clue to us that we're going to divide. So since we have the total, we're going to divide. So I'm going to start out with 18 in my equation, my number sentence. 18 divided by, and if we look in our word problem, we knew the 6. 18 divided by 6 equals, and then we found that there was 3 in each row because we kept adding 1 to each row until we counted up to 18, and then we found that there was 3 plums in each row. And then since these are word problems, technically we should have done the RDWW. We did our read. We did our draw. We wrote a number sentence, and they actually wrote the word sentence for us. We just had to fill in the blanks, so that was done too. Okay, how are we feeling? Good. So we'll definitely keep practicing and practicing and practicing these. So if you are still working, you can pause it. And if not, turn it and work along with me. All right. Number 3. Okay. Number 3. Put your pencil on 14 and read it with me. Nice and loud. I want to hear you. Here we go. 14 shopping baskets are stacked equally in 7 piles. How many baskets are in each pile? Model the problem with both an array and a labeled tape diagram. Show each column as the number of baskets in each pile. And the same thing again. I made a mistake. So go back to the second one because I just forgot. The whole thing is we're making tape diagrams today, my favorite, and I forgot to make a tape diagram. So silly, Mrs. Gruel. So go back to number 2. Okay. And we need to make that direction on the other page just reminded me that I didn't do a tape diagram. Okay. So now that we have that, so remember we had 6 groups of 3. So we're going to draw a rectangle. Did you guys catch my mistake? And I couldn't even hear you tell me. Okay. So to do the tape diagram, we make a rectangle. And I know that were 6 bags. So here's the trick to tape diagrams. If I need 6 bags or 6 groups, I need to put 5 lines in. So no matter the number of groups that I need, I always go 1 less. So if I need 6 groups, I put 5 lines. What if I needed 10 groups? How many lines would I put? 9. If I needed 20 groups, how many lines would I put? 19. What if I needed 100 groups? I would put 99, right? Because it's always 1 less. So if I need 6 groups, I'm going to put 5 lines. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And try to make them equal. I've gotten pretty good at just being able to eyeball it and make them equal. But you're using a pencil. So if you need to either add on or erase some, you can do that, right? to try to make the groups look equal. All right, so once we did that, we had to keep putting 1 in each group until we got to 18. So let's do that together. Ready? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18. There we go. So now we took this array. So once we have that, we took this array, and just like we practiced turning our paper, we turn it onto its side, and then this looks just like that, right? Except that now this is a tape diagram. So basically, a tape diagram is kind of like a sideways array, okay? And I just think that they're fun to make the more that we practice with them. Okay, so now I did my job with that one. So now if you need to pause and catch that one up for real, you can, and then flip back to number 3. Okay, so we did read it, but just to kind of, I'll read it again. 14 shopping baskets are stacked equally in 7 piles. How many baskets are in each pile? Model the problem with both an array and a labeled tape diagram. So here, I'm going to do even more damage to this one. Model the problem with an array. Nope. We're not doing arrays now. We're going to just stick to the labeled tape diagram, and we're going to cross that last part off too. Okay? And I'm not even worried about that. So we're just going to make a tape diagram for this picture here. All right. So 14 shopping baskets. That is my total. And 14, they made a word. Sometimes when the questions have the numbers in a word form, we think that it's not really a number and we don't even look at it. So just be careful and pay attention that just because a number is in word form, it's still an important number and we need to look at it. So I just actually wrote it in number form right on top of that to so we don't forget it. Okay, and it's the total. So 14 shopping baskets are stacked equally in 7 piles. That's important, right? 7 piles. That makes me think, if there's 7 piles, that makes me think that that's the number of groups. What do you think? Yes, so 7 piles, that's going to be the number of groups. Okay, and the question says, how many baskets are in each pile? Okay, so here's the deal. We're going to go right into putting it into a tape diagram. The announcements keep wanting to come on, but nothing is there. Okay, so let's do a rectangle for our tape diagram. Okay, and I know the total is 14, so I'm going to scoop this and I'm going to put 14. Okay, because that's my total. And then it says that they're stacked equally into 7 piles. And we said that that makes us think that that's the number of groups if there's 7 piles. So I want 7 groups. So do you remember from the other side, if I want 7 groups, how many lines do I make? 6. Nice work. So I need 6 lines. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Again, if you need to erase some or add some more on, you can do that. Once I made my 6 lines, I'm just going to go back and count to make sure that I actually have 7 groups. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I got it. All right, so I have my 7 groups, and then I know that my total is 14. So now my question is, how many baskets are in each pile? I want to find the number in each group. I'm going to continue to add one to every group until I find the total. Will you do that with me? Okay, so get ready. So if you don't have this set up yet, pause it so you can get caught up so you can put these in there with me, okay? I want to do this together. All right, here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Can I keep going? So I'm at 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, and stop because I hit that total of 14. Okay, so how many do I have in each group? I have 2 in each group, so I can just scoop that one group and put that 2 there. Okay, and if we RDWW. We did our read. We did our draw. Next would be our number sentence. We know the total. So if we know the total, what kind of a number sentence are we going to write? Division. Good. We're going to divide. So 14 is my total. So we've got 14 divided by, and if we look up here, we knew the 7. So it's going to be 14 divided by 7, and it would be the answer that we found. So the question was how many baskets are in each pile, and we found that there was 2 in each pile. So 14 divided by 7 equals 2. Okay, that's our answer, 2. We can check off that first W for the writing of the number sentence. And the last sentence is to write a word sentence. And our question says how many baskets are in each pile. So I'm just going to take that and say there are, capital T, right? Because they're writing a complete sentence. There are 2 baskets in each pile. Period at the end. Okay, there are 2 baskets in each pile. Okay, I would like you to try number 4 and 5 by yourself. So you can take off the part where it says to model the problem with an array, because I just want you to make a tape diagram, and don't worry about that part. Okay. Same thing. And this one doesn't even say it. That one, you can use whatever strategy you want right there. For number 4, I want you to do a tape diagram. Number 5, if you want to keep using a tape diagram to practice, you can. But if there's a different strategy that you'd like to use, you can. Do the RDWW for both of those. And then come back and check it with me when you're done. Okay? All right, friends. So get to work, and then you can come back and check it when you're done. All right, boys and girls, I was going to try to get a different color of a marker. I'll just use a pen, I think, because I have my other marker would go straight through and I don't want to do that. Okay, so I'm hoping that you did these 2 by yourself, and we're going to check them together. Okay, in the back of the store, Mr. Prescott packs 24 bell peppers equally into 8 bags. How many bell peppers are in each bag? 24 bell peppers, that's the total. So I hope you circled it. If not, do it right now. Equally into 8 bags. That sounds like it's the number of groups. And my question is how many bell peppers are in each bag? So go ahead and underline that. Okay, so we did the read. Next is the draw, and we're practicing our tape diagrams. So draw a rectangle. Okay, and it says that he packed 24 bell peppers equally. So that's my total, because we circled it. So I'm going to put 24 there because it's my total. And he packed them equally into 8 bags. So if we have 8 bags or groups, I need 8 groups down here, which means how many lines do I need? Did you put 7 lines? Super duper. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And after you draw your lines, you should always go back and check to make sure that you have the actual correct amount of groups. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Yep, I was correct there. I have 8 groups, but it's good to check. So now that I have my 8 groups, I know the total is 24. I'm going to keep putting 1 in each group until I get to 24, and let's see if we got the same answer. Count with me. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24. I did it all in one breath. Okay. How many are in each group? 3. Did you get the same thing as me? Good. And if not, just pause it and make your corrections as we go, right? Because the important thing is that you're just figuring out your mistakes, and that's okay. All right. We drew a picture. So next I had to write a number sentence. So since it's division, the total is 24. We're dividing because we knew the total. We were dividing by 8 because that's what it told us up here, right? And then my answer would be 3 because that's what we found out, okay? If you're ever not sure which order of these numbers, look and see what we know in the problem. We knew 24 and we knew 8. 24 divided by 8 equals 3 because that's what we found out. There's our writing of a number sentence. The last one is writing of a word sentence. So I go back to my question that I underlined. How many bell peppers are in each bag? There are 8 bell peppers in each. No. That doesn't even make any sense. How many bell peppers are in each bag? Yes, it does make sense, Mrs. Gurrell. I am losing it today. There are 3 bell peppers in each bag. Whew, I'm having a tough time today, I think. Okay, so that didn't make sense. So then I went back and read it. So even obviously teachers can mix themselves all up. All right. So the question, how many bell peppers are in each bag? There was 3 bell peppers in each bag is what we found. Okay. And then I can check off my last W. All right. Let's see if I can get through this last one going over it with you without losing it. Okay. All right. So let's see how you did on this one. So Olga saves $2 a week to buy a toy car. The car costs $16. How many weeks will it take her to save enough to buy the toy? Okay, so she saves $2 a week. I'm going to put parentheses around that. And it costs $16. That sounds like the total. So how many weeks will it take her to save enough to buy the toy? And I want to do a tape diagram again because that's what we're practicing. And I need to see what I know. I know that the car costs $16. So I'm going to scoop that and put $16 because it's the total. All right. She saves $2 a week. How many weeks will it save her to save enough to buy the toy? Do I know how many groups or do I know how many are in each group? I know how many is in each group, right? Because she saves $2 a week and we want to know how many weeks it's going to take her. So, and if you didn't do this, if you did this backwards, just make it right next to me. It's right next to your older one. It's fine. So I don't know how many groups. I know how many are in each group. So I'm going to make a group and I'm going to put 2 in it because that's what I know. I don't know the groups yet. I don't know the weeks. Okay.
Hi, Carrie. Can you call extension 248? My Carrie, 248.
There's finally a message this time. So there's a group of 2. So 1, 2. Going to add another line. 3, 4. Are you working with me? If you're not ready, pause it so you can work with me because we're going to keep adding 2 and count up till we get to 16. Okay, so 1, 2, 3, 4. Another group. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. And I'm going to do 13, 14. And then I'm going to add on to show you that we can just easy like that to add on. 15, 16. And I'm going to recount it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. There was 2 in a group. And total says how many weeks will it take? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I had 8 groups, which means it would take her 8 weeks. Okay, but let's check off what we've done. We did our read, we did our draw. Let's write a number sentence. So we know our total, so that means we're dividing. $16 divided by 2, she saves $2 a week, equals 8 because we had 8 groups. Now, you may have gotten the same answer if you made a tape diagram with 2 groups. So if you did 2 groups and then you would end up with 8 in each group. But this is what your picture should look like. So that's why I said if you did it the opposite way, you can just leave that and draw it the correct way right next to it. But this would be the correct representation of the problem. So we did that. How many weeks will it take to save enough to buy the toy? It will take, make sure we have a capital I, it will take 8 weeks. And if your sentences for both don't say exactly the same as mine do, that's okay, as long as you have the correct number in there. All right, friends. So our lesson today, if we come back to it, We were using arrays and tape diagrams to determine the unknown factor. So we learned tape diagrams today. We will be working a whole lot more with tape diagrams. Again, if you needed to pause that to catch up with that, boys and girls, go ahead and do that. But I hope you had fun today, and you will work on practicing this some more in Zern. So super job today, and I will talk to you soon.